Hey there! I'm author Sarah A. Chrisman.
And I'm Gabriel Chrisman.
And today we're going to be talking about my brand new anthology, Old-Fashioned Thanksgiving and Some Old-Time Folks. Victorian Thanksgiving stories, articles, recipes, and menus from the 19th century. So this is an anthology of material from our collection of antique books and magazines. We collect antique magazines and books from the Victorian era, which you probably noticed in the background of a lot of my videos.
Especially the late Victorian era.
Especially the late Victorian era. And these are not things that you're going to find online. These are not things in some supercomputer somewhere. These are things in, very fragile old books and magazines that the pages were crumbling and no one else had access to them, and I wanted to make them available again because these are some wonderful stories from the 19th century that...
And you also wanted to collect them in a Thanksgiving anthology, which not many people have done.
Right, because these are from, a whole host of different magazines, and mostly a magazine would have one article about Thanksgiving and then, articles about all sorts of unrelated topics. This brings them all together in one place. And also because it's Thanksgiving, I had to include a bunch of recipes, also 19th century recipes, and some fun advertisements from the antique books and magazines. Thanksgiving is, despite the fact that it commemorates loosely,
very loosely,
yes, an incident in the 17th century, Thanksgiving, as we now celebrate it in America, is really a Victorian holiday because the 17th century incidents that happened, they were very complicated. They were messy. They were really a mess.
Yeah, it makes for excellent stuff for historians to pore over and for PhD students to argue about.
Right.
But it doesn't, if you actually study the real things that happened, they don't make for much of a resounding national myth.
Well, if you study the real history of the 17th century incidents that became Thanksgiving, there are no heroes. And there are no everyone's a villain in that story. There are no good guys at all. But in the 19th century, and especially during the American Civil War, a lady named Sarah Josepha Hale, she was the editor of Goody's Ladies' Book, Goody's magazine, she decided America needed an origin story. Because at this point, American Civil War, her interest in Thanksgiving goes back earlier, but during the American Civil War, she felt we really needed an origin story because every superhero does.
Well, she thought it would be unifying.
She did.
That it would basically bring Americans back together.
Right. And it was something our country desperately needed at the time. We needed the people who had been literally at each other's throats, literally killing each other, to come together again in brotherhood.
This doesn't sound at all familiar, does it?
Where have I heard this before?
Yeah.
What does this sound like? So, I thought it was a good idea to revisit a lot of the stories that did bring America together at a time when America was really, really, literally torn apart. And so these are stories from the 19th century about what people wanted Thanksgiving to be. The ideal dream of Thanksgiving as a national celebration of what it means to be one unified family as America.
Yes.
A unified celebration of hearth, home, and everything. Harvest. Bounty.
Yes.
All the things that Americans really hold dear are what these stories are about.
And that Norman Rockwell celebrated in his famous painting series.
Right. I love his The Four Freedoms series.
Yes.
That's a wonderful series of paintings. And again, I thought it was really important to bring these back to the public view. And so I typed them all up from our crumbling yellowed old magazines and put them all together in this collection, and I hope you'll check it out. And my dearest dream for this is that people will buy it, bring it with them to their Thanksgiving dinner celebrations, and as you're waiting for the turkey to cook, you'll pull this out. Tell everyone to put away their cell phones. You might have to actually physically pull them out of people's hands to put them in drawers, and just read these together. That is my dearest dream for this collection. My dearest dream for this collection is you will bring it to your Thanksgiving celebration and read it with your family.
Well, they might actually also find some things to cook.
Yeah,
Recipes
absolutely.
here. And it's one of the things that is very interesting and become very part of Thanksgiving is these family traditions of recipes that are handed down. And one of the recipes that you certainly were very interested in is your family's stuffing.
Yeah, that was fun. So my family had this stuffing that we always made, and it was really fun to me to find the original recipe for it and realize, hey, this is a 19th century cookbook, but that's my family's stuffing.
Yes, find the origins of that tradition.
Yeah, so this is about finding the origins of all of our traditions, and I hope you'll check it out. Thank you, and have a happy Thanksgiving. Happy reading!